It's new knife day and we got a whole bunch of different knives to talk about. So we're not going to waste any time. We have a bunch of different brands, different designs, different styles, and different price points. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start this off with a pair of utility knives from CJRB. Now these are currently on Kickstarter, I believe, and they, well, let's just quickly run through it. So these are ambidextrous utility knife blades. So actually they're designed so that you can rotate the blade and you can use it both left and right-handed. Now part of that, in order to do that, where you have both a left and right hand capable tool with the button on the same side, is you have to have a blade that can be reversed. Now these blades have holes in it, which is what allows them to be reversed. But this is not a blade that's easy to find, I will be honest with you. My biggest critique with this is not the quality or how well they function, because they actually function really, really well. They have multiple stopping points. They have a nice little shape. I do like it. It's almost like fidget spinner-esque. In fact, that would be really cool if it had a little rotating capability. But the biggest thing, and I think the thing to take away from this, is unless you have access to those types of blades with the holes in the middle, and I haven't personally seen them in any stores that I know of, I don't know if this is going to be a great option. There are probably parts of the world where that is an incredibly common thing. I'm just not sure where that is. My opinion, maybe something you want to hold off on. I definitely like the looks of the tool. The feel of it's great. It's very compact, easy to carry. We have, I believe, actually, I think that this looks like it might be aluminum, but it's actually stainless steel. And then we have titanium over here. Really sturdy, really compact, easy to use. They just fall down on one thing, and that is they have proprietary blades, basically. And I gotta say, that might be the deal breaker for a lot of people. You let me know down in the comments. Do you have blades like this in your area? Next up, we got a couple knives from Kizer, and this is one of them. This is called the Sub-3, and I gotta say, did a good job. You know, great action, really good feel in hand, nice grip. It's nice, it feels good. Here's the problem. It's Kizer. Kizer makes phenomenal axis or crossbar style locked knives, and there's a bunch of them already with different materials. And here's the issue. This kind of suffers in comparison to those. For one thing, this is a clutch lock enabled knife, which means that it has an adjustable crossbar. And I really, really like that. But they have knives like the Drop Bear, which in my opinion are more universal, and they have a reversible clip capability. Do we need yet another crossbar lock that doesn't have the full range of features we expect from anything that has a crossbar lock? And yes, I know the knife community is very picky, and we're very, very picky. There's making a knife for the sake of making a knife. I don't know about that. I don't know if it's always a good thing, especially when you already have a product that kind of fills the role, which is the Drop Bear. And that's just one example. They have a few others, but that's just one of them. I don't think this offers anything, in my opinion, that the Drop Bear doesn't. And if I remember, I'm not sure, I think it also has 154 cm. It may even come in less expensive than this knife, just because it's newer. And there's more varieties. I mean, you can get it in S35VN. I have my version in LC200N, which is phenomenal. Oh, I love that one. And this is just a meh. It's a meh. It's a phenomenal meh. And wow, that was a really good catch. I'm just fuddling with it. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. This is one of those situations where we don't need another generic crossbar lock. And I might be being a little harsh because it is a great knife and it works really well. If I got gifted this, I would be very happy, right? Like, it'd be a very good knife, but why would that person buy this instead of the Drop Bear is really the question I'm asking myself and failing to find a single reason for. And so for that reason, I like it. They've done a good job, but that's what we expect from Kizer. They do a phenomenal job on their knives. It's just a meh from me. That's what it comes down to. You know, and it's no like insult to the designer. He designed a good knife. I just don't know if it was necessary. That's what it just comes down to. Let me know what you think. Am I being unfair? Do we need more clutch locks in the world that are sub 3-inch blades that have a drop point, you let me know. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Here is definitely something a little bit different. First of all, this is a small knife, and it also has a fairly strange handle shape, but it is very similar to the knife it was inspired by. And I actually saw a very similar version of this knife at another booth from the same maker, the same designer. And it was at the QSP booth. And I gotta say, I am really very much in love with this swept back handle design. And you can see it kind of pushes itself right into your hand. It has this weird ability to create more control with the tip of the blade and works incredibly well with this sort of Wharncliffe sheep's foot blade shape. It really, really does. And I gotta say, more so than normal, they have nailed the button lock on this one. Yeah, generally speaking, I think they've done a really good job. This is a small knife that appears to have captured a bit more interest in my household. I'm always asking, hey, does this interest you? Especially with my wife. She's like, oh, that's pretty nice. I like the look of that. And that's always a good sense. I like when I find knives that they can kind of get behind and it's a little bit easier. And this is definitely a friendly knife for two-handed use. I'm of the opinion that there's a missed opportunity here to not include it on washers and then include bearings in the box, for the simple fact that then you don't have to create the situation where people are intimidated by the drop shut action. But here's the good part about button locks. If you let go right away, the resistance against them does kind of make them slow down a little bit. And this knife, this has got all the right little components. This could end up being a very popular knife this year. The more I use it, the more I like it, to be honest. And I definitely think this is a good utility knife that you could keep in your pocket. But that begs the question, would you rather have this or some kind of utility knife blade holder, right? Because for this price, you can basically pick a wide range of utility knife blades, even some that are in titanium that might be as appealing. That this gets to be that size where you start to wonder when should you start to just carry a utility knife. And I like this one. I do. I really like the way they have done the button on this one. The detent seems to be really, really good. It feels like it launches out really nicely, meaning it's holding on at the very beginning, and I like that. Yeah, I don't have many complaints at all with this one. And it's different enough, I think it can establish itself in the marketplace. It has a front flipper that works really well. You can get in there with your thumb, although it's a little bit difficult because it's a small handle. You can reverse flick, which is my preferred way to open it. Solid, yeah. This is called the Vanish. It is a 2.3-inch blade. Yeah, not much more to say. Like the design, like the shape. I think it'll be appealing to a lot of people. You let me know. Like, don't like, in the comments, please. It's only fitting, I think, that we go from the smallest knife to the biggest one. This is the Momo, and it is a 4.18-inch blade. And yeah, this is a big boy knife, and I like it. I like it a lot. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to critique a little bit. Just remember, this is a good knife, and I am being nitpicky, so just keep that in mind. First of all, the pocket clip is in the wrong position. It should be closer to the bottom. When it's up at the top, it's more likely to be felt by the hand, and so what otherwise would have disappeared and been part of the ergonomics is now just sort of a little bit of a hindrance to the ergonomics. Now, this is a front flipper knife, and my goodness, look at that thing. That is a big boy, and it looks every bit of a chef's knife, like basically a folding chef's knife. Very, very interesting. Action is really good on this, as you would expect from something so large. It's going to drop shut on those bearings for sure. And we have an interesting combination of materials. We have steel, aluminum, and titanium, it appears. So we have a titanium bolster, we have aluminum scales, and a steel liner lock. So yeah, very, very cool. And a titanium milled clip. Not much more to say. You either love this or you hate this. And I tend to be one of those person that does in fact love it. And I don't think there's that many great, truly awesome large folding knives out there in this style or genre, which is more of a slicey, food preppy kind of knife, and that's what this feels like. Now, this is an awfully expensive knife to do that with, but if that's your thing, and you want something in your pocket that's maybe not, you know, a cuff or something along those lines, but something maybe a little bit more reasonable, this might be your ticket item. This could be the thing. So let me know what you think down below. Is this kind of ridiculous to you, or do you like the large knife appeal? This is one of my things. I do like large knives, but that's not for everybody. So I heard you like big boys. This is the definition of the word. This thing probably weighs as much as my Leatherman Arc, like genuinely. I don't know exactly how much it weighs. I will put it up on the screen, but yeah, this thing is a chunky, chunky boy, and that's because it's using solid brass scales. Now it also has steel inserts to kind of help with the strength around the pivot, which makes sense. And it also needs that secondary piece in order for the button spring to exist. So the functionality of the knife is phenomenal, but it's not unexpected because Kizer does a very good job with their knives, and they do a great button lock, and they have done, once again, a great button lock. What I like personally is that, where is it? Right there. I love that this is in CPM 3V. Kizer is one of the very few brands making folding knives in CPM 3V, and I think it's a shame because it's such a cool steel. I really, really like it. You could be incredibly abusive with it because it's so tough. And surprisingly, I have had zero issues with any corrosion when it comes to 3V. I don't know why. It's supposed to be not very stainless, but for some reason it holds up really well to water issues that I've encountered on fixed blades and so far on the folders as well. And where I live, it's very humid, so not as much right now, but definitely during the summer, and things just rust. Like I get D2, it rusts all the time. I don't have that issue with anything in CPM 3V, and technically I don't have anything like that in Crewwear either. So I like seeing more of this steel. This is absolutely a premium knife. There is no question. You have to love it. You have to know you're going to love it, and you have to accept the fact that this thing is going to weigh down your pockets. With all of those things, if you make that decision, I think you're going to like the knife. It has phenomenal ergonomics, bunch of different points in which to grab. It has great cutting geometry, so it's very, very slicey, a Wharncliffe kind of cleaver design, and it's been a very popular knife for Kizer for a long time. Not much more to say, right? It's a heavy version of the Sheepdog and in a brass scale with CPM 3V. Enough said. I'm going to say right off the bat, this is a feast for the eyes. It really, really is. It's one of the best looking knives that I have seen in recent memory. It has that titanium black wash, which, my God, I am just obsessed with. It is just such a beautiful design. And they have a milled titanium pocket clip, which fans out kind of a little bit thicker at the end than it is at the beginning, perfectly like forming to the shape of the handle. This is a knife that falls squarely in the premium category, and it has the looks to match. So we have M390 blade steel, a really nice, and this is, I'm pretty sure, a Wharncliffe blade shape. Almost a sheep's, yeah, there might be a little bit of curve there, so maybe it's a sheep's foot blade shape. And the action, my goodness, like they have gotten so good at crossbar locks over at Vosteed. Now they have their own name for it, but it's a crossbar lock. And my goodness, this is excellent. Man, and it sounds great. But you know what I like is they found a way to integrate that top flipper, or the front flipper I should say, and they've done a very good job with it. I don't have any issues getting a purchase on it, and the thumb studs are also really, really well done. So pretty much everything on here is great. I'm not sure what we expect to see on knife reviews nowadays. I get to the point where I'm not getting bad knives coming across my table much at all anymore. And this is squarely on the other side of that spectrum, which is really, really good knives. And Vosteed consistently does a good job, and their premium variations come in these sealed plastic containers. It comes with additional Omega springs, some other things with it. It comes with a patch. You get a little rag to wipe it off, and a little sticker that goes with it. So Pretty cool. I actually really like that. That's a nice sticker. They've done a good job with that one. Vosteed is one of those up-and-coming brands that is really nailing it practically every single time. This is no exception, and this does not need to be a very long review. This has already been reviewed by a number of people who have tested it far more thoroughly than I have. What you need to know is, indeed, it is about as good as they've said, which is to say very, very good. If you're into the premium market and you know what you like, take a look and see if this kind of floats your boat. The biggest thing, I think, is the dark theme, that really dark wash titanium with the black washed M390. It has a feel to it. It has a certain feel to it that you either love or you don't. Now, I do believe this also comes in a plain titanium as well, but don't go with that version. Those are pretty vanilla, to be honest. And black wash, I mean, this is the new thing. I think this is the look that I'm looking for. This is the one that I would keep if I could. If I could have everything in black wash tie, I would. It just looks so fantastic. Let me know what you think. Maybe we'll have like a little poll, black wash versus stone wash. You let me know which one you like more. Check out this knife from Vosteed. It might even be sold out. That's kind of the nature of the game with this company, but I will leave a link nonetheless. Here is everything we talked about today. A wide range of different knives, I have to say. If I were gonna pick one knife of the lot, it would have to be the Dachshund. The Dachshund it's just really well done. Like all around, like I like everything about it. I like the way it feels in hand. Because of that cutout, I feel like it would be difficult, even with the smooth handles, for it to slide out of my hand, even when wet. Yeah, it's really, really good. That's my personal preference. Let me know, though, down in the comments, what is your favorite knife that we talked about. As always, thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.